Sugar Ray?
Hey, hey.
Hey. We ain't live yet, are we?
Yep, we are.
Are we live?
Hey, everybody. Hey, LPA and everybody out there. We are live with Mr. Younique, Mr. Adrian himself. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Sugar Ray? How you doing?
I am all right. Okay, and I see we got some viewers going on. Hello to everybody in the audience. Hey, Miss Kimberly. I see you out there. Miss Sonora, Miss Kristen, Miss Kay Wells. How are you guys doing? And I am streaming 3 different places, y'all. So if I am missing your comments, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Okay, so tonight we are displaying the coloring book engine version 2.0. Some of you guys may have seen it already, but it is a big release dropping, and Mr. Adrian is going to show you all about this. So take it away, Mr. Adrian.
Okay, hey, what's going on, everybody? So a lot of you guys know I just dropped version 1.0 about a week ago, where I went in and made a major tweak, listened to all of the feedback that everyone was giving me, and I went in and made a lot of changes to the GPT. And I just want to give you guys just a little bit of a sneak peek to some of the stuff that you guys are going to be getting with the new version 2.0, and that version will be dropping tonight. So the GPT, you guys will be getting access to the new updated version tonight. Once this live is over with, you guys will have access to that inside of the training area. If you guys are trying to get the GPT at the current price before the price goes up after the upgrade, you guys might want to try to go ahead and get on top of that, because the price today is not the price that you guys will get tomorrow. So let me jump right in. I don't want to keep you guys on here too long because it is late. And let me go ahead and share my screen. And let me show you guys some of the new updates inside of the new version of the GPT. All right. So let's do this. All right. Let's see. All right, Sugar Ray, can you see my screen now? Is it showing up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So, whoa, let me do this. Let me refresh this right quick. All right. I need to refresh. All right. So this is the coloring book engine 2.0. So if any of you guys have already brought the GPT, you guys are pretty much familiar with this. So let me go ahead and log in. This is my personal version. When you guys get access to the GPT, there will be a password that you guys will need to use to access the GPT. It's a rotating revolving password that you'll have access to in the training site. That prevents people from sharing the GPT, and we will be launching an affiliate program. I'm sure Sugar Ray will tell you guys about that a little bit later. And that's to protect the people who are also coming on as affiliates for the GPT as well. So the first thing you want to do, you want to go ahead and log in. I just got a basic password for my personal version. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So the first thing that happened now, I have this nice little message board feature that I've added in. So anytime I add any type of new training or new updates, I got KDP training coming in. I got templates being uploaded. I have an 82-page, might trim it down just a little bit, guide that's coming along with the GPT. You got to probably get access to that tonight. I'm doing a little bit more editing on that. And anything else dealing with this GPT and some other thing coming down the pipeline with it. This notification area right here is where you guys will get that information at. So the first thing that you'll do, if you guys got the original version of the GPT when you first logged in, you notice the first thing that happened was that you will set your aspect ratio. So I've changed that. So now you have 2 different options when you first log into the GPT. One, you can start from scratch. You can start creating a coloring book brand new from the ground up. All right. Second option is this. So let's say that you've been working on a coloring book in another session. You got your consistent character, you got your theme, you got your idea locked down. And you know, sometimes this is ChatGPT. And unlike a traditional computer that works through ones and zeros, ChatGPT is a large language model. And if you go too long inside of a conversation, it'll lose what is called context. and it'll start doing things it's not supposed to do, adding stuff to your pages that you don't want it to add. Well, I came up with a way to solve that. So what this step does here is this, and I'll show you guys what that looks like tonight. If you guys have been building a coloring book doing another session and you want to continue with that particular coloring book, like creating more pages and stuff like that, then you would take the information that you get right before the generated. There's a review step. Anyone who's bought the GPT know what I'm talking about. There was a review step that happens right before the coloring book is generated. And you would take that information, you would click number 2, and then you can read that in and pick back up where you left off. Okay. But for this one, we're going to kind of go through the step by step so you guys can see some of the new stuff that I added in from the previous version. Okay. So expanded the categories. And most of these categories that I set up right now are categories that are considered to be bestsellers or marketable categories, or categories that have been identified on Amazon KDP and other places as categories that have a high likelihood of success with coloring book ideas. Now, these are not the actual coloring books themselves. Look at these as like categories, okay? So you have categories that you have adult concepts, you have children's concepts for children's coloring books, and then this is something new that I've added in called sequential process and story themes. Now, what this does is this. You can tell a complete story all the way through page by page now with the coloring book engine by using this option here. So let's say that if you wanted to explain to a child how to tie their shoes, and you wanted to do that inside of a custom coloring book, and you wanted to show them step by step from 1 to 10, okay? I'm just using it as an example. You can select this option right here now, and you can create a coloring book that will have a sequence that starts from a beginning process to an end process. So if you're trying to explain stuff, if you're trying to demonstrate stuff, or you're trying to take a story and carry it from the beginning to the end, this is the option that you would choose right here, okay? And if you want to use something as inspiration, an image, I use that a lot. You can use this option right here, click upload, and then you can upload an image or something that you got inspiration from, another coloring book, graphic, doesn't really matter. This thing will give you marketable concept ideas for any kind of image you upload, right? Now, if you guys got the original version, you can see that these categories have been expanded a lot. So you have a lot more categories in here that you can create coloring books in, okay? I think I've added maybe 8 more here, and I think maybe 5 more to the children's section, okay? So let me go ahead and grab one of these categories, and I'll show you guys what'll happen when you enter it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. We'll copy and paste that in like that. And then what it'll do is it'll give you 10 marketable coloring book ideas around this particular theme. These are themes for your coloring book, okay? This will be the theme of your coloring book from the first page to the last page, okay? And the reason why I created it like this here is because I wanted this GPT to be super simple and easy for anybody to use. I didn't want you guys to get in here, try to wrestle and try to play around with prompts and go back and forth with ChatGPT trying to generate ideas. I wanted the GPT to do the work for you. So the only thing that you have to do is look in here and say, hey, I like this, I like these ideas. These are all marketable ideas for your coloring book. Or if you don't like any of these that the GPT gives you, you can always describe your own. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this one and I'll copy and paste that in. And then it should ask about the art style after that, okay? If ChatGPT will go ahead and do right.
This is so awesome. I'm geeked.
Okay, now this is a big update. Okay, so if you guys remember in that first version, I had 60 different art styles in there, and that was a big list, right? So what I've done now, I've taken those art styles and I've broken them down into different categories. So it's easy for you guys to decide what kind of art style you want to go with. So this is the top of the menu. And when you click any one of these, you'll get the art styles under here. I've also expanded the art style. So instead of having 60, I think you guys have about maybe 83 to 85 different art styles that you can use for your coloring books now. So if you select classic animation right here, we'll put that in, and then I'll show you guys what that'll look like. I'll probably click a few of these categories so you guys can see what's in there. All right, so now when you click that classic animation, you'll get all of these different art styles that you can use to create coloring books with. You guys see that? And then I'm going to go ahead and click animate. You click this, put it in, and then you can see the different art styles under here that you guys can use for your coloring books. All right. And that same process will work for any one of these categories that you pick up here. It'll do the exact same thing. All right. So for this one right here, let's do something kind of crazy. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with that Bob's Burger style here. And we'll put that in. Okay. So what I'm really doing right now is showing you guys the new features in here. Okay. So the next thing that you want to do is determine the aspect ratio of your coloring book. Do you want to go with a tall aspect ratio, or do you want to go with a square? So for this one, I'm going to go with the more traditional size. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a traditional size. I'm just going to go with portrait, and we'll go ahead and lock that in. Then the next thing it asks you is whether or not you want to use consistent character. Now this option here allows you to create a coloring book where you have one character that's throughout the entire coloring book. Okay. So you can create consistent character coloring books using this GPT, or this system, I should say, because if you guys have noticed some of the images that I posted in the group, a lot of those coloring books have a consistent character that's used. And I think I posted one this evening with the little, I think the little kawaii chick with the little smoke chick. I think that was a consistent character demo that I did with that one as well. So for this one here, I'm going to go ahead and click no, because I want these guys to really see what this thing can do all the way through now. So now that I click no, the first thing it'll ask you to next is, okay, so who is your consistent character? So because I didn't pick a consistent character, now you want to start defining what's the main character. Now you're working on your cover. Now the way that this works is I created this to be a system of like 1, 2, 3, ABC. The way that it works is this: you create your cover first, then you can create your back cover, and then you go from your back cover to your inner pages. And that's how it'll work every time. It's a process. It's easy to remember. And if you work in here a few times and get used to it, you'll be able to go in here and just knock out coloring books left and right, because you'll understand the system once you go through it a few times. Okay. Now the GPT will always give you suggestions when you're working with it. Okay. You never have to sit here and try to figure out what kind of prompts you want to write, what you want to stick inside of a prompt. You don't even have to worry about prompting with this. You don't have to prompt with this. Okay. It does everything for you. All right. So for this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and select this. And of course, you don't have to go with the suggestions that the GPT gives you. You can always put your own information in here. All right. And then from there, it's going to give us the pose. How do you want your character posed on your cover? I'm just going to grab any of this right here, just to kind of show you guys. Now, when you guys are working with this, you really want to think through what your cover image will look like, because your cover image sells your coloring book. So it's very important that you think through, how do you want this actual cover to look? I'm just doing it like this right now, just to show you guys what it looks like. Okay. And then from there, you want to determine, okay, what kind of mood you want the coloring book to convey. So for this, I'll let the GPT decide. I'm going to say you can decide. All right. And then we'll do that like that. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and let the GPT decide this. So the next thing, what kind of environment? I'll say, what's the environment that you want the character to be in? Now, the way that these suggestions work is this, okay? Look at this as a system. So whatever you decide, let me scroll all the way back up here. All right. So you got a big theme. All right. So we under the snark and humorous theme. All right. So you're going to pick something up under that. Anything that you pick up here will determine every option that the GPT gives you after this for suggestions. That way that everything that it gives you matches what you're trying to create. Like, it's not just pulling up some random stuff and say, here, this will look good on that. No, it's all based on the choice that you make up here for the particular theme that you want for this coloring book. All right. Because I'm trying to make this as easy as I want you guys to get paid with this thing. And I want you to sit here trying to struggle, trying to figure this out and figure that out. If you want to go in here and put your own ideas in here, cool. But the GPT is always designed to give you ideas that are marketable and will produce nice looking covers, nice looking back covers, and nice looking inner pages. And it's designed to create images that don't look like anything that you're seeing out there right now, because I have a a 11-step signature prompt formula that I use to create my images with. Anybody that's took any of my classes know about that. I have a specific 11-step prompt formula that I use to create images with, and I built this GPT image capabilities on top of that. That's what it uses to generate the images, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and click this. I could have clicked multiples, that would have been cool too. And I'm gonna go ahead and send that. And then for the rest of these, I'm just gonna probably just let the GPT decide, just so that we can kind of go through the steps. All right, so the next thing it'll ask you is this. What title do you want for this particular coloring book? And it will suggest titles based on the theme, all right? You don't have to go with any of the suggestions that the GPT gives you here, okay? So I'll go ahead and copy and paste that in like that. I'm just gonna let the GPT decide what kind of title it wants. And then you want your subtitle to your to your coloring book. You can go with what the GPT gives you, or you can pick your own. I'm gonna go ahead and tell a GPT to do this. This process takes a little time because it's important for you guys to really think about what you want this cover to look like. That's why these questions are set up like this here, so that you can create quality products that'll sell when they get in the marketplace, and your coloring books and all of your images don't look like garbage for the most part. All right, so the next thing it'll ask you is, okay, what is the author? What author do you want? Okay, so you can put your name on here. You can put a pen name on here. You can put your business name on here. It doesn't matter. You can go anonymous. You can leave a name off. You can ghost coloring book create with this GPT, meaning that you guys can start a business of creating coloring books for other people with this GPT and put their names in here as though they're the author and charge a premium price for a one-off coloring book. You can do that with this GPT, and I'm sure you guys can think of all types of other ways that you can use it as well. All right, so for this one, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna let the GPT decide that, and then we should start going into font options from there. All right, and then it'll tell you, okay, what kind of font do you want your cover image to look like? And the suggestions that it'll give you for your font looks will always match the theme, the feel, and the vibe of the coloring book, okay? It's gonna always give you suggestions that work for what you're trying to create. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell it to decide. And then we're gonna deal with the colors. What kind of color do you want for it? And then from there, then it'll ask you, where do you want it placed at? After that, and it'll ask you, what do you want the text to be placed at? That's the next thing. And then after this, it should give you a review of the information. All right, and this is your final cover blueprint. Now, this is the information when I said that you'll need when you're trying to start a new coloring book. And I'll show you guys exactly what that looks like with this information, okay? And then once it'll ask you, hey, cool, does this look perfect? I'm gonna go ahead and click yes. And then from there, it should generate the cover page. ChatGPT has been running a little bit slow with these images, so you guys can be a little patient. Hey, Sugar Ray, you got any questions or anything you want to chime in on while this thing is rendering?
No, not necessarily. I just think it's so awesome, and I just love the fact that you're allowing you're giving something that is geared towards people actually making money with this thing, and not only creating your own coloring books. And like you said, the ghost services, we see a lot of people doing that. And like you said, the images are coming out real crispy in here, real nice and real professional looking. Just absolute sky's the limit with what you could create for yourself or for other people. And not to mention that you're giving a affiliate link for the people who purchase this. So that is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, and then with the then there's some other GPTs I'm going to show you guys that comes along with it. So you guys have just really been seeing the coloring book engine and everything that I've been creating with that. But what you guys have not seen is the other GPTs that come along with this, because creating a coloring book, that's just part of it. Now, if you guys already know how to market and all that type of stuff, cool, then you guys can get out here and market and all that. But you got a lot of people coming into this space that doesn't really know how to do these things. So from a business perspective, offering this GPT and then offering you the other tools to go along with it really gives you pretty much a business in a box. So you can create all of your images with the GPT, And then I got another GPT that you can sit down and strategize with. It will help you get all of your dimensions for Amazon KDP. I put a few other things in that one today. And then I have another GPT when you say, okay, well, how do I list this stuff on Etsy? How do I list this stuff on my website? I got that GPT there that will actually help you do your listing. I don't know why Chat GPT running so slow tonight. You guys have been having that problem too? It's like running.
Yeah, I have been having that today. But
Yeah,
Adrian, while we're waiting on that, that is something that I was going to ask you about the other two GPTs because the one
I'm gonna try this again.
The one with the listing, GPT, I think that that's awesome because a lot of times we make a lot of these products and then that's where you get stuck at because okay, now we got to list it. Now we have to put together the marketing materials. Then it just feels overwhelming, right? So that's a big weight lifted off to have a partner GPT that can help you with that.
Right. And that's the whole thing, is to create a whole system. You know, you can sit down, boom, first you can sit down with the GPT and strategize. That first GPT that you can do your strategy with, it's okay. So you won't be out here just tripping, trying to create stuff that's not going to sell. So if you're going to create something, make sure that you create something that has market appeal and that'll sell. So that first GPT is the one that you can sit down, knock out all of your keywords, do your strategy, all of that type of good stuff like that. Boom. Once you do that, you can take that information into this GPT and start building out your actual coloring book, right? And then once you get through creating your coloring book, you can take the information from your coloring book and go ahead and create when I say this thing is a business in a box, you create your descriptions, you create your coloring books, and you can do all of your strategy with one GPT. And I'm giving you guys a guide along with this that has a ton of business advice in it. It breaks down step by step how to use the GPT. It does all of that for you, and it has a ton of business information in it, all right? And that's what this cover looks like based on the actual style that we went with, okay? I'm gonna say next. Okay. All right, and then it'll give you the color palette, okay? All right, normally when ChatGPT is not tripping, right after this image would have generated right here, you'll always get your color palette right here. So if you guys are trying to do like marketing material, you want to try to create so let's say that you got one coloring book and you want to drive this coloring book hard, okay? It's a theme that you're trying to promote. All right, and now you want to try to create cohesive marketing materials around this particular coloring book, all right? So after the coloring book cover is generated, you can go in and do a few things. One, this is all of the colors that was used to generate this image. It gives you the hex codes so that you can create all of your marketing materials. So you'll have a consistency in your marketing materials and have a branded look. It'll give you this, all right? The second thing that it'll do is this. You can tweak the front cover, you can generate your back cover, or you can create your inner page. Now, here's the thing. This is not a computer that uses ones and zeros. It is ChatGPT and it is AI. So sometimes the AI might spell something wrong, okay? So you always want to make sure that you still check what the AI agent gives you when you're using the GPT. Check your spelling. If you didn't like the way that the font looks, if you don't like the way the graphic looks, if you want to put something else in the background, you choose this option right here, tweak the front cover, and you go ahead and generate you a new front cover that's more pleasing to what you want, okay? You can always go back and change this. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and go to that back cover. And then from there, we'll go to the inner pages, okay? And it does all of the work for you, okay? So what kind of vibe and feel do you want for the back cover? And you guys will know what this means in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and just pick 2. And then from there to ask you about what kind of features do you want? No, the visual layout, I'm sorry. It'll give you visual layout. I'm gonna say, let's see, which one do I want? I'm gonna go with a mix. Yeah, I've never done that, so let's see what it comes up with. I'll let the GPT do that. All right. And then it'll give you all of your highlights. So if your coloring book is 30 pages, if it's 20 pages, if it's around this or around that, if it uses this type of paper or some other type of paper, anything that's a highlight or a feature of that particular coloring book, it supports some kind of cause, or it's centered around some type of mission that you're on. It was inspired by maybe something that you went through. Anything that would be a key feature for that particular coloring book, you want to include that in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just grab 3 of these. And of course, you don't have to go with what the GPT gives you. You can always add your own. And then from there, it'll generate the blurb. It's going to give you the final review. You always have a chance to change everything inside of this GPT. Okay. So the way that it works is this. This is your blurb, which is the little information about the coloring book. And then these are the features that'll show up on there. And I'm going to go ahead and click yes. And if ChatGPT is doing right tonight, it should generate the cover. Now, here's the thing. If you ever see that it's starting to generate the cover and it's not in the aspect ratio that you want, I specifically have that programmed in here. But like I said, this is ChatGPT. Always, you can just stop the image and say, hey, you're using the wrong aspect ratio. I want it to be tall and not square. You can always do that. That's the beautiful thing about using it inside of AI, is that you still have that conversational ability to talk to the agent when you're working with it and creating out your coloring book. So you guys can always do that. And when I set up the troubleshooting section inside of the training area, I'll show you guys how to troubleshoot certain things that happen when you're using the GPT, or when you're trying to interact with AI in general, whether it's inside of this GPT or any other GPT. Some of the same rules will apply. All right.
Hey, Adrian.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have a question while you're waiting on the generation. Okay, so TKT Creation says, are you able to personalize the coloring books that you create here? And I asked her to did she have some specifics, and she said yes. Like if someone wants a personalized coloring book for their daughter's birthday, can you make a themed coloring book using their picture?
Yes, you can. I'll show you guys how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I already knew the answer, but I wanted you to elaborate.
Yeah, super easy. Yeah, you can run. Super easy. You can run a personalized coloring book creation business with this and include people's children, pets, anything you want in here. That's the whole thing about the consistent character. All right, and as you guys can see, that's the back cover, but that is fire. I want you guys to look at how consistent the branding is in this. That's the front cover. That's the back cover, and it has everything on there. Of course, you want to go ahead and always check this and make sure that everything is spelled correctly, and then you'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and say next. I should have said next, but I said nest. We'll see what it do. All right, so the next thing it'll do is this. You'll start working on your inner pages. Now, the old way that I had the GPT set up was that when you were creating your inner pages, it would just give you 10 ideas. Okay, and the 10 ideas would be based on whatever the theme was. Now I have it where you can control more of what the actual 10 pages will look like. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to do social situations to avoid. Okay, you guys can always enter your own stuff in here as well. I'll go ahead and put that in like that, and it'll generate 10 ideas around this particular theme. You guys see that? So you get your big idea. Okay, what do I want these pages to be about inside of here? Now, each one of these suggestions that it'll give you, and it'll already be related to the overall theme. All right, so you don't have to worry about that. But then you can decide, okay, so here's something you can do. So let's say that you want to do a 40-page coloring book. Okay, let's say that you want to do that. You can always come back and create 10 pages with this, 10 pages with this one, 10 with that one, 10 with this one. I'm sorry, you can do a 50-page and 10 with this. I wouldn't do a 50-page coloring book, but if you wanted to, you could, and you can get 10 different ideas based around each one of these big ideas right here. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and select this.
Why not, Adrian? Go big or go home. 50-page, 100-page. Let's go.
It's a big coloring book, especially if you got them pages, but you got that solid white on the black and you don't want that bleed through.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Exactly.
But I used to buy them big coloring books in the store, though. I'm just saying, them jumbo coloring books.
I did as a side note, I went out and did a little field trip over the weekend, just go out here and see how much they charging for these coloring books. I'm like, man, I'm charging way too less for this GPT. When I started looking at some of them prices they charging for the coloring books.
Hey, and not to mention that we're going to be able to customize them though. So you're not going to find like what TKT wants to do. You're not going to find that in the store, that you're able to do that for your customers and customize a coloring book totally around their likeness. And I mean, y'all, just imagine the other things that you could do. Like you want to let people, you want to offer your services to consumers because they may be trying to raise money for a graduation, for a family reunion, for different things that they are doing. And could you imagine having something to sell that is with that family's likeness? That's going to make them even want it more and make them, patronize and help you build up what you're trying to fundraise. So I mean, like, the possibilities are endless with this. Everybody loves coloring books, children, adults, everybody. So it's like a product that you cannot go wrong with.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, like I said, you got Etsy, you got Amazon KDB. You can start your own personal line with this. You can create one-off coloring books that you can do one buyer coloring books. Create maybe 3 or 4 different covers that they can choose from. Do your inner pages. Here's an idea: you can create your cover with no text on it. Create your back cover with no text on it. Take the image that it gives you into Canva and create templates inside of Canva where they can go in and they can change the wording for the cover, change the wording for the background, and then you can sell them a full Canva template with the actual coloring book already set up inside of Canva, and you can sell them those as premium one-off products or one-buyer products where only one person gets access to that. I mean, sky's the limit. It's just up to you guys what you want to do with it. Now, in version 1, what I did was, when the images, before they generated, I gave an actual prompt right here. Okay. And I'm like, cool. Some people want to see a prompt. All right. But then I thought about it afterwards, after getting the feedback. A lot of people using the GPT won't understand how to look at a prompt and decide what to change in it. So what I did was I went in and rebuilt this GPT, the actual system that's used to generate the images based on my 11-step prompt formula, which goes on in the background. You don't see that. And what it does is it breaks everything down that will be inside of that coloring book image, and it's labeled so that if you want to change something, now you don't have to look at a big long prompt. You can just see everything clearly laid out and say, okay, I want to change the character. I want to change the pose. I want to change the expression. I want to change the setting. I want to add to the surroundings, and everything is clearly laid out and labeled for you to see. Now, here's a little trick for you guys out there to create coloring books and different stuff. All right. Sometimes you have that issue with ChatGPT, even though you'll tell ChatGPT not to put shading, fields, and all that stuff inside of your pages. What I did was I just went ahead and gave you the wording to use. So if you just copy and paste this in, this was my workaround or the solution to try to get that consistency in these shaded type pages, and to make sure that the aspect ratio is always right. So this number here would change based on what you select at the beginning. But using this particular wording in here is almost like a reminder to the AI, like, hey, create this image without any shading or fields and make sure that the aspect ratio is right. Because the key is, I don't want you guys getting here trying to create pages and then have to keep recreating pages because it doesn't look the way that you want. So the more that you can put in to stop the AI from doing things that you don't want it to do, then that's the less that you guys will have to do when you work with the GPT. I wanted this thing to be as easy as possible. Get in here, 30, 35 minutes, you guys can knock out an entire coloring book and be done. That's the goal, is efficiency and getting a quality product out there in the market. All right, let me go ahead and let it generate this image so that you guys can see what it looks like.
Questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Letitia Perry says, when you customize the coloring book for a customer, how do you deliver it? A printed copy, PDFs, and or Canva files? Letitia, I want to say that you could do all 3. It just depends on who are you selling to and what are their goals, and my pricing would probably be different accordingly. So if you was giving it to someone that do what we do, and so they would need the individual files so that they could produce as many coloring books as they want. And like Adrian was saying earlier, you might have some that you sell to multiple people. You may have some that's for one buyer. So if it's an exclusive and it's one buyer only to them, it would definitely cost more than the version that you are selling to multiple people. And then you have the consumer level, they probably just want the printed copy. So I would deliver that to them print wise. And even if it was a consumer who wanted multiple copies so that they could sell for their event, I probably still would do the printing for them and charge them for that, unless they were prepared to go and get them printed. And then it's other things that go along with that, because of course they need to know how to properly set it up for print. So see, that's those are different things. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that, Adrian?
No. That's right up your alley right there. That was a great question, a great answer. Yeah, exactly. Canva templates, PDF documents. You can deliver to them as PNGs. It just all depends on the format that you want to use to deliver your files in. So there's so many different ways that you can do that. The easiest way, I think a lot of people are familiar with Canva. I would look at maybe some kind of Canva solution to deliver the files for just ease and simplicity. And it's just so easy for people to get up and running and do things inside of Canva. All right. I don't know if you guys saw that there was a little red warning sign in here. A lot of stuff you guys see going on right now, it's a lot going on with OpenAI and ChatGPT right now. We've been getting a lot of weird warnings and everything is running slow. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. All right. So I'm going to go back and we're going to create another page. I'll grab this and we'll put this in, because what you're looking at now, these are all your pages right here. Okay. And then, oh, that's the same page I created. See, that's what happens because I created that page. It said pretend to text while dodging someone across the street. I want you guys to see that because I already selected that page. I got this warning. That's something I built in. It's error handling. It lets me know, hey, you've already created that page. So what do you want to do? Do you want to add a second page with a different scene? Do you want to regenerate variation of the same scene, replace or tweak? Because I wasn't paying attention and I tried to recreate the same page. All right.
Now that's awesome because I be doing that all the time, sir. So
yeah. It'll warn you, let you know. All right. So I grab this. So I'm going to grab a fresh new page and then it should give me a new outline for this particular page right here based on this theme. Okay. And it's just a repetitive process. It's super easy to use this thing, right? All those images you guys see me putting up in the group, this is exactly how I do them. I just sit down, come up with an idea, come up with some crazy stuff and just create these coloring books in these pages. It's super easy to do. And it'll do the same thing every time. It'll give you the art style that you pick, character, pose, expression, setting, surrounding, feel, and vibe. And it'll give you the same thing. I'll go ahead and select this. And the one thing I want you guys to see is how much easier it is dealing with this than trying to deal with a bunch of prompts. As you guys can see, you don't see me using any prompts in here at all. You're not even dealing with prompts, period. You don't even have to worry about those prompts anymore. And we'll let that one generate if ChatGPT acts right tonight. Well, there it is. And then I'll show you guys that new feature that I added in, like if you want to pick this coloring book back up from another session, all right?
And while that's generating, Adrian, I wanted to read Lydia's comment from earlier. Lydia, stop using these big words. Look, I ain't even want to read this. Look, but I love it. Okay, so Lydia says one of the things that I am impressed with is that this GPT asks the questions that you need to generate what you want. Adrian built this so meticulously that it truly generates exactly what you want, and you can create your own story based on your character or characters based on your description or paragraph. A photograph. I'm sorry. Thank you for that, Miss Lydia.
Okay, let's see. It's generating this one. And then I'll show them a few other features on here. Let's see. We'll make sure we're keeping track of the time. We're good there. I know one thing, I'll be really glad when they speed this up with this image generation.
I know.
And I think I want to go back after this and just show them how consistent the art style and characters are based on the theme that we picked. It's fire. All right, so this is the next coloring book. And if you notice, all of the images have the same aesthetic, the same feel as the back cover, the same feel as the front cover. It has that same look to it. And it all comes back to the art style choice that I made. Where did I make that? Way up here, Bosberger. All right. All right, so let me show you guys one more thing. So you guys pretty much get it. That's how you create inner pages, and you'll just keep going back. And oh, here's another thing too. You can ask for more. I'm going to say, give me 10 more page ideas. All right, that's another thing. You can always say, hey, give me 10 more page ideas. And now you have a 20-page coloring book. This is how I do it. It'll come back in. Now you have 10 more new, fresh coloring book. So now we went to a 20-page coloring book, and I just said, give me 10 more ideas. And I just keep repeating this same process over and over again, because I know that the images that the GPT creates will look the way that I want them to look. I know that they'll be crisp. I know that all of the lines will be right. I just keep popping these ideas in and copy and pasting this like this. And you can say yes, but I normally do this here to make sure I remind it, hey, this is what I want you to do. And I added that in for you guys to just copy and paste. Of course, you can click yes, but I like to use this to just remind it, hey, I want this to be this aspect ratio. Don't put no shading in there, and don't use no fields, all right? And then
Miss Clara had a question that said, when will our files be upgraded? They'll be upgraded tonight, TT. After
yeah,
Miss
you guys
Clara.
will have, yeah, everybody who paid for version 1, you guys will have access to 2.0 tonight. As soon as this is over with, I'm uploading this. I'm changing out the link for the GPT to the newer version so that you guys have access to that.
Okay, Adrian, we have 2 more questions. One says, if you change your character to African American, will the image have shading?
No. You can tell it you want it to have shading, but no. Hold on, I'll try. We'll create one like that so you guys can see.
Okay, and the second question, Adrian, is how many pages were the average coloring books that you saw when you went out to check out your prices?
It was
when you
all,
went price shopping.
It's just all, they were all over the place. There wasn't really no one set size. Now, when I did my own research, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, so the coloring books that I'm gonna do, I have a very particular type of coloring book that I want to create. Okay, I'm going to do my coloring books at 54 pages, but they're going to get 25 inner pages, which means that they won't have that. They'll have an image on one side, and then it'll be white on the other side, so that you won't get that bleed through. And then when I looked up, that was just a pretty good standard for a basic coloring book. Now that's me. You guys can go bigger than that. But for some of the templates that I'll be uploading in the back office for the GPT, I'm going to be uploading the KDP templates for like 50 pages, maybe 50 pages, 70 pages, maybe 100 pages like that. And everyone will actually have those templates for those particular pages, that size they want to do. But of course, you guys can always do it the way that you want to do it. That's how I'm doing it. But you can always do it how you feel you want to do it. Say what now?
Adrian, it's also good to note that that's a good way to do it if you plan on print with KDP or Lulu, because they don't have the absolute thickest weight of paper, you know, in their coloring books. So you're gonna want that clear, that back, you know, that clear back, like Adrian said, in between your pages. Because if you print them on both, you know, if you print coloring pages on both sides of each other, it's definitely going to bleed through.
Right. Now you guys won't have that. Now we keep talking KDP and other people printing this stuff for you. You can print these for yourself. Yeah. If you got the equipment, you can create your own coloring books at home. You don't have to do KDP is an option. These third-party vendors, you can go through them, cool. But if you guys got the actual, I know like Sugar Ray got the equipment, a few other people have their own equipment. You guys can create these coloring books at home. You can go out and vend. We keep talking about online, but you can create physical products, see, touch, feel, get it shipped to your house in a box with your name on it. And then you guys can go out and vend. You can get contracts. Think about schools, think about daycares, think about coloring books that's even in the area of businesses that teach processes and concepts. I mean, really the only limitation is your imagination in terms of what you can do with this. Every coloring book doesn't have to necessarily be around something humorous or meditative or anything like that. There are all types of different type of coloring books that you guys can create. So at that point, it's pretty much on you. And to assist you with that, I actually created a GPT that can kind of help you based on whatever your niche is or potential niche that you guys might want to jump off into. All right. So let me show you guys this other feature right quick that I'm talking about. So let's say that I'm going in here, like for this one right here, I would probably tell the GPT, hey, to regenerate this one here, because even though you'll tell it, hey, no fill, it's still Chat GPT. But a lot of people, they don't really care. This is still a good image. For me, I'm just kind of so picky about my images. I would tell it to redo it and make sure that there's no shading in her hair. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But here's the thing. If I was creating and then the pages started drifting, and let me show you what you can do with this. So now what I want to do is I'm going to grab this information here. This is your blueprint. So if you guys are creating your coloring books, over here in this sidebar right here, you want to name your conversations right here based on what coloring book you're creating. So if I was creating this particular coloring book right here, Snarky and Humorous, I would put the name in here. Excuse me. I would take the concept. I would take, let's say, the title. I would put the date. I would put the volume, and then I would name this particular conversation after this particular coloring book. That way it'll be easy for me to get back to it. Now, there are some plugins. I don't have that plugin activated right now, but there are plugins that you can use where you can keep all of your conversations inside of folders as well. I think Sugar Ray and a few other people use that too. That's another way that you can organize your conversations with the GPT, is to create a naming system, keep yourself organized, because some of these coloring books, you may want to work on them over 2 sessions, and I'll show you what that looks like. So once you get your naming right, and let's say this is part 1, and you're working on this coloring book and it's part 1, you grab this information right here, you start a new conversation, you put the password in, and then I'm gonna show you where you put that at, and you can pick right back up. All right, right here, I'm gonna put 2, and then it'll ask me to copy and paste it. I'll pop that in like that. It'll pre-fill everything out like that. And then it'll ask me what I want to do. I'm going to say skip to create inner pages. I grab this, put it in like that. So I could have made adjustments to the blueprint. I could have even created another color, but I don't want to do that. I want to go straight into creating my inner pages. Sometimes what I do is I'll create my cover in one session and then create my inner pages in another session too. You can do that as well. All right. And then I'll grab the core idea like this. I'll put that in, and then it'll give me 10 ideas. It's just the same thing over and over again. Once you guys start using this here, it'll be second nature to you. I grab the idea for the page. I put it in like that, and then it'll give me the overview. Same identical thing. This time we just didn't create the cover, and I didn't have to answer all of the questions. Now, the beautiful part about doing it like this is that you can answer all of your questions over here. Okay, so I created my cover over here, and I'm just giving you guys a workflow, just different suggestions, okay, for working with it. All right, so I got in here, answered all the questions. Cool. I got my my cover generated in here. I got my back cover generated in here. I got all of my color palette stuff in here. I got this conversation name. Then I jump over here, and then I'll start. Let's see. Let's jump over here, and then I'll start back creating more inner pages. I'll click yes, and then it should jump right back into creating inner pages. I can get in here and knock out a coloring book in about 30, 35 minutes, because once you learn this here, you'll start developing your own workflow for creating your coloring books. And then I'm gonna create one that has an African-American character in it, so you guys can see it. I let that one look like that because I let the GPT make all the decisions on it. All right. And then what I want you guys to see is that even though I went to a new conversation, I want you guys to see how consistent the actual images look that it actually generates from that. Like, you won't be able to tell that you worked on this coloring book in 2 sessions, and you don't have to come in here and pop no prompts in and try to do all that stuff either. You got any questions on Sugar Ray?
No, I don't see any right now, Adrian.
Okay, cool.
Just compliments still on how awesome the people were saying they already got it, but they haven't explored all of the features yet. So this is a great update for them to see the new features, and they can't wait. One said they can't wait for the release. And I'm trying to share this out too.
Mm-hmm. And what I want everybody to see is how the aesthetics is still the same. You can just pop this right into that coloring book with them other pages. It looks just as good as the other one. Now, when ChatGPT is acting right, this is what happens after every inner page is created, okay? Once you guys get to working with it, you'll know this. If you don't see this, it's because ChatGPT and OpenAI sometimes is tripping. But after every inner page, you guys will get this option right here to create 10 more page ideas. You can modify the page or you can finish. That's the way that the process normally goes when ChatGPT is acting right. If you guys, once you guys get to working with it, you guys will know this and you'll pretty much know what you can do after every image. But if you guys are brand new, then when I go through the troubleshooting section inside of the training area, I'll just kind of give you guys tips and pointers on this type of stuff like this, because of course we still are at the we still have the limitations that are within inside of OpenAI and their platform. Okay. All right. So I want to go up and grab.
I'm sorry, Adrian, right quick. Miss Paulette said, can she continue with her V1.0 books she started? I'm guessing she means once the 2.0 is live.
Yeah. Just take that information. It's the same information in here from the version 1. Like when she generated, before she generated her cover, just use this same information right here. When you first log in, where it says resume, take that information from version 1 that was generated before your cover was done and just copy and paste it in. That's why I did this. You can pick right back up from those version 1s as well. The only difference in this one here is you got a lot more options in here for art styles. You got a lot more options in here for categories. The interface is a lot cleaner. If you guys noticed, I've added a lot of improvements in here. The way that the AI helps you, I've went in and streamlined this prompt here. I've given you guys more control over the way that the inner pages look when they're generated. It's just a lot of it's a lot of things I added in, but then I went in and updated a lot of things just to make the user experience a lot better. I wanted to make it really easy. When you got the bottom line with all these GPTs, I want to see you guys get paid. The feedback, the reviews, I want to see people create stuff with this stuff and getting paid with it, because it's coloring books are a $1.2 billion a year business. So it's a lot of room out there for us to kind of get into that market and start making money. If you guys are crafters or anything like that, this is another product line that you can add to your product set. This is another product that you can offer now. If you sell digital products, this is a form of a digital product that you can sell for my digital product sellers. This is another form of a digital product that you can sell in your stores. It's still a digital product. Okay.
Adrian?
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so just to clarify though, just in case she meant, can she continue the previous conversation that she's in though? So are you deactivating 1.0 after 2.0 is out? Because when that does happen, you can't continue the conversation. So that's what, just in case that's what she meant.
That's the question she was asking. Okay, here's what
I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure if that's what she's asking, but I'm saying just in case.
What? That's a good question on that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
What I will probably do to help everybody out. Okay, so here's what I'll do. When you log into the training area, I'll go ahead and add, instead of updating that version now, I'll go ahead and add in an additional link to this version here with the actual password to this particular version here. Now, what I want to do is with that particular version right there, I do want to deactivate that version as I'm updating these. And that's the reason why I want you guys to start getting to the point where try to keep your conversations organized, because you can always pick back up. See, that's why I added this in, because you can always pick back up with creating that coloring book, whatever coloring book that you was working on, whether you were working in version 1 or version 2, as long as you got that outline blueprint, you can still pick back up and start back working on that same coloring book. Still, it doesn't matter. You can still do it inside of version 2.
And keep in mind, everybody, that ChatGPT has the memory. By you're using your ChatGPT, it's going to remember your other conversations. So that's why he's saying you're able to put it in 2.0 as well. So he has that in his GPT, and you're dealing with ChatGPT as well on remembering your conversation. So, Adrian, what you're saying now is we'll give them a little time for 1.0, y'all, but that would have eventually that will be deactivated.
Yeah, because see, they can, like I say, right now you can pick right back up with those conversations inside of this one right here. Okay, you can still do that. So let's say if you were creating those pages inside of that version 1 and I deactivated it, just because it shows that GPT is not available doesn't mean that you lose the information in that conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing that you would need to do is go ahead and grab your blueprint from right here and do the exact same thing that I did. Once you grab this and you start that new conversation with it, see, like I've done it with older conversations from version 1. Once you log in, see, you're picking right back up. Once you enter that password, I'm just doing this so everybody can see it visually. Once you put that password in and you click 2, see, and this is how you pick that conversation back up. Once I paste this in, did I copy all of it? I don't think I copied all of it. Hold on a second. Let me go back to that old conversation. I don't think I copied everything that was in there. I did.
And while you're doing that, I just want to answer Letitia Perry right quick. She said, where is the training area that you keep mentioning? And Letitia, that is in your purchase at the Beacon store. So it is this sale is this GPT rather is connected to a course module. So when you log into your Beacons, the account that you use that you purchased the GPT with, you will find the course portal that has all the information in it.
Right, exactly. Because you guys have bonuses in there too. You have 2 additional GPTs that come with this. I have training videos that I'm uploading in there because, like I say, I'm always working with the GPT and I want to be doing a lot of training videos with the GPT. I got guides that I'm going to be offering with the GPT. So as opposed to setting this up as just a link where you can buy the GPT, no, this is more than that. This is a whole, this is a business basically. So you're getting this GPT that creates the coloring books. You get the GPT that you can strategize with, and you're getting the GPT that you can create your listings with. But you guys need training with this stuff. And that's one of the things about these GPTs. Sometimes when you get GPTs, some people offer training with them, and that's cool. But a lot of times you got a lot of newbies that are using this stuff and they don't know how to use this stuff. So anytime you're creating something this complex like this, it's always good to try to have really good detailed guides or some type of training that goes along with it, because you want to make sure that people are able to get in here and get their money out of it, especially if you're charging for this stuff. You want to always make sure that you offer value and make sure that people get back what they put into it when they put their money out there like that, because people work hard for their money and you don't want them putting their money out there for something that they can even use because they don't understand it. All right. So let me go ahead and show her how to do that one more time, Sugar Ray. Then I'll show them the other GPTs that come with this. All right. And I'll copy and paste that here.
And you well, look, Lydia needs to be your marketer too. Lydia says with V1 alone, you could create over 600 different coloring books by using the 60 styles with multiple prompts.
Yeah, you got 83 in here.
Right.
So once I click 2, I'm just trying to show her if once I deactivate that GPT, you still can keep creating. You're not limited there, okay? And you just put that in like that. And then you click skip to create inner pages. And then you pick right back up. If you were using a consistent character and it had a consistent character in there. So if you were using a consistent character for that coloring book and it detected that you was using a consistent character, it will stop you here and tell you to upload the image of that consistent character from that session that was generated so that it can lock that information back in. And then once it locked that in, then it will give you this information right here so that you can keep creating. So yes, you can transition one consistent character from one session right over into a new conversation with ChatGPT, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 in there. I probably already did that. All right, and now it's giving me some inner pages that we can work with. All right, I'll go ahead and grab this. And I'm just wanting everybody just to see how this thing works the same way every time you use it. And then I'll show the other two GPTs, and I think we might upload an image or something too for inspiration. All right, and then I'll click yes right there. And then I'm gonna show them how to create a consistent character on Sugar Ray. Then I'll show the other two GPTs.
Awesome, awesome. Step away right quick, Adrian.
Yeah. Go ahead. That's fine. And there it is. If I wanted 10 more pages, I'll grab this here. And the reason why the character is holding that coffee in this particular image is here is because when I picked number 2, coffee addicted survival scenes, it gave me 10 ideas here that's around coffee. I want you guys to understand why that image looks like that, because it gave me 5 categories to create inner pages in. I picked number 2, and then it gave me 10 ideas for the inner pages that you can create. I'll go ahead and grab this one like this. And matter of fact, I'll create one more page. I'll put that in like that, and then I'll show you guys how to create a consistent character with the GPT. And then I'll click yes, like that.
Okay, just letting you know I'm back.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna show them how I created one of those coloring books that I put up in your group. I think a lot of people like that one. I'll show them how I did that.
Yeah, I loved it. How Lydia said from earlier, now she's gonna have to revise her math because you said it's 83. It's 83 styles in there now.
And y'all know I'm gonna probably add some more later on.
Right.
Once I figure out how to convert them to coloring book pages, I'm definitely gonna add some more. I got a few other surprises I'm gonna add to this, but I'm gonna work on training with it right now and creating products and stop trying to play with it for right now. Let it do what it do. But as you guys can see, it's still creating images around that particular coffee theme. And the main thing, as you guys can see, it's the same aesthetic, the same look, same art style in every one of these images that we have been creating. And I started that like 2 conversations ago. All right.
Oh, y'all, and some of those, look, Adrian, can you send me the covers and the some of the coloring pages that you created, because I could just see me animating those. And so
okay, yeah.
I'm gonna come back and do a live on that, showing y'all what we did with some of this in print and in animation and digital. So
okay,
you know, just ideas for how to market it and how to bring some attention and awareness of the product that you created. So yeah, I could see a lot of fun stuff happening with that right there.
Okay. So I'm gonna show 2 things in one session with an image with this one. So I'll put the password in. And for this one, we'll start from scratch. I'm going to put 1. And then let's see, the category I want to go with right here. I want to go with this. No. I'm going to go with upload. I'm going to go with upload. And then it'll ask me to upload. Let me navigate to I'm gonna use one of the pictures that I actually use for this, okay? All right, so let's see. I'm gonna find one of, all right, so this was that image that you guys saw me put up actually in the actual group, okay? I'll show you guys what that looks like. And I'll show you guys how I did that. All right, so once I uploaded the image, okay, and this was the image I had created, I put up in the group. I'm just gonna use this as inspiration, all right? So here's what it did. It analyzed the image and it gave the overall theme of the image, okay? It's not gonna replicate this exact image because you don't really wanna do that, but you might wanna create something in that category, something similar. And the thing is to try to create something original, but within inside of that theme. So now what it did was it analyzed the image and then it gave me 10 ideas around that particular image. So I'm gonna go ahead and look and let's see which one, let's see which one I wanna go with. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go with this one right here. All right. This one's called Chronic Cutest Cannabis Theme Cuteness Overload. I'm gonna put that in, all right? So that's the big thing. And for this art style, I know I wanna go in, that's gonna be under, I think number 6. I have some unique art styles under there. And I think that's gonna fall under that lo-fi vibe. All right, yeah, so that's that lo-fi look. If you guys wanna do that, this is a signature style I put in here. And you'll put that in if you guys ever want to get that lo-fi kind of look like that. All right, and I'm going to go with a portrait for this one, like that. And then it's asking me, do I want a consistent character? I'm going to say yes. All right, and it's asking me, do I want to describe or do I want to upload? So for this one here, I'm going to describe the character because the process will work the exact same way. So I'm going to say you can decide. I'm going to say I want her to be African American with locks. You guys can be as detailed as you want to here. Locks and loungewear. All right. So I'm just going to let the GPT do it. I just gave it a basic idea and I'll say cool. And because I didn't give it a name, you need to give your characters a name. And I'm going to say cool. I'll go with that name because that's important for locking the characters in for consistency. All right. And then it'll give the overview for the particular character. Let's say what species. I'm going to say human. And I'm going to say you can create her for me. Now, if you guys were doing this, you want to go through and answer all these questions, I'm just going to let the AI do it for me. All right. So these are the questions that it would have asked you, but I just told it to do it to try to speed up the process. What species human? You want to give it a name. Her name was Zara, whatever the name is. Physical features, signature outfit, accessories, personalities. Then I'm going to click yes. Here. All right, and then what it's doing right now is creating her character sheet, which you'll need for consistency when you're using the GPT and when you want to use this character in another session. That's why this is important. So this information right here will be the information that you use anytime you want to use this same character that you create. So now you have your consistent character. Let's say you're trying to create a theme coloring book or whatever, and you want to use the same character. You've invented an original character that you want to use, all right? This is all of the information for that character. So you want to save this, okay? And then now it's generating the first image for the character so that the GPT can lock it in and know what the character looks like. So when we get to the cover, when we get to the back pages, when we get to the inner pages, the GPT will know how to actually draw that character inside of each one of those different those different processes that you'll go through. So that's why this is the first thing that you do. And then you can also save this information so that you guys can keep reusing her as well in other conversations. All right. What art style did I use for this? Oh, I use that lo-fi. Okay, cool. And I want you guys to see how easy that was to create this character. I didn't use no prompts, none of that type of stuff like that. We got a character being generated. All right. And that's the character that we'll be using. Okay. If I didn't like this, I can always go in and change anything that I want. I'm going to say, I'm ready. And let's see. All right. And then it'll route you back into the pose. So when you create a consistent character, you got your character. And now you're going to go back into how do you want the character pose. And if you notice, you see what it says? What is Czar, whatever that's name is, doing on the cover? Because now the GPT knows who the consistent character is. So it'll start referencing her throughout the remainder of the conversation. So I'm going to go ahead. Now you guys want to think this through when you guys are creating a cover, but I'm going to do it really quick like this so that you can see how I created that image that you guys saw in the actual group that I shared in Sugar Ray's group. All right. And then what kind of vibe? I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to go still and chill. We'll go with something like that. And whatever choice you make in these questions, it'll determine what the agent will give you in the next question as well, okay? And let's see, I'm going to say a fuzzy pastel. We'll run that. You can always put multiples in on this as well, okay? And then we'll run that like that. All right, let's see, here go the titles. I'll grab this one. We'll put that in like that. And then for the subtitle, I'll grab this one. I'll put that in for the subtitle. And then for the author, I'm actually put my name so you guys can see how that'll look on the cover. All right. And then for the font, I want to go with something that kind of fits the vibe. I'll go for that bold bubble font or groovy. That'll work, but I'm going to tell it with a bold outline. If you guys have favorite fonts that you want to use or you like to use, this is where you will put that in as well. Okay. I'm going to go with, I'm going to say you can decide on these. All right, so I'm just going to let the GPT decide on those, all right? And then I'll say, I'm going to say looks good. All right, and then it should give me the blueprint. All right, and that's the blueprint that I can use over and over again. Okay, so when you're creating a consistent character, you have your blueprint that you can use in the next session, and you also have the actual, you got the character image, you got the character breakdown, and this is all of the information that you can save when you're trying to create consistent characters over a series of coloring books, all right? And now it's generating the actual front cover for this particular coloring book, all right? Now, I think after this, I'll show them the other two GPTs that come along with this, all right? Move that subtitle. soft vibes and smoke rings. All right. Then let's see where I put that sub at.
TKT wants to know, what is your experience with having more than one consistent character on the page?
Normally when I do that, I'll try to tell it what I want the other character to look like, but sometimes you can do that. But sometimes ChatGPT is not as reliable when you're trying to use multiple characters sometimes like that. I will be working on trying to work out the actual bugs to make multiple characters work on the cover. But right now, just doing one consistent character is pretty dependable and reliable. And for right now, that's pretty much the way that that we're doing it right now. But I will look at trying to add in multiple characters and multiple gen IDs and stuff like that. I just want to make sure that if I put it in there, it actually works and does what it's supposed to do. Okay.
Yeah, because we still limited to what ChatGPT can do. So
right, you always got the limitations of ChatGPT when you're working with these things. All right, and you start putting too much in here, you'll break it. All right.
And so, Tanya asks, can we upload a picture as an image reference for a character? Yes, ma'am. We talked about that. Make sure you catch the replay. And you'll see what we talked about that.
And this is how I created that cover, that image that you guys saw in the group. I could go in and tweak it, change it or whatever, but this is just real quick. You guys can do a lot better than this when you go through it. I could say change this, change that, change the other thing, but this is exactly how I created that the image that I shared in the group. All right, it still gives you the hex codes for the color palette, and then I'll go ahead and go to create the back cover, and we'll go ahead and knock that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, you can decide. I'll just let the GPT do all that. All right. And then for this one, how do I want her to look? Let's see. I'll try this one here. I just grab that like that. And we'll put that in like that. And then I want to decide what the back features will be. I'm going to go ahead and grab these. I'll put that in like that. And then it'll give the overview for what will be on the back cover. I'm going to go ahead and approve that like that. And then it should generate the back cover now. And as you guys can see, it's just the same process over and over again. Once you find a workflow, you guys can pretty much get in here and create any type of coloring book that you want with this thing for the most part. And I'm gonna scroll up while it's doing that, because within inside of each one of these categories right here, as you guys can see, it's so many different type of coloring books you can create. And remember now, once you select one of these, you're always going to get 10 ideas. It will never give you the same 10 ideas twice. You can tell it to give me 10 more ideas. So just inside of these 16 categories right here, you can do anything from mindfulness to spirituality. You got affirmations in here. You got seasonal. You got the mandalas and all of that. For the children, you have learning. You got it's just all types of coloring books you can do with this. If you guys want to do a step-by-step coloring book, you put this option in right here. You can explain a process. If you want to upload an image right here as inspiration, maybe find you want a coloring book around an idea that you saw, one of those favorite prompt images that you guys created, you can create a coloring book around that particular character. If you guys don't like any of this here, you can always describe your own idea right here. So there really aren't any limitations. You got a ton of art styles that you can use inside of the GPT. All right, let me see if it finished that back cover, then we'll move. So it's generating that back cover now. And as you guys can see, it's using the character's name too in here as well. That's one of the things I want you guys to see how consistent it is with using that character throughout the remainder of the process once we set this up. And if you notice, if you look at this here, it has that same color palette, that soft kind of pastel color palette that matches the front. And of course, if you didn't like what was created here, you can always change that. So I'm going to say generate interior coloring pages here. We'll go here. And then it should start giving us the ideas for the pages to go on the inside of the actual coloring book. It'll give us those top 5 categories. And all of these is dealing with Zara. I'm going to go ahead and click this one here. Since we're going with the cannabis theme, I'll put that in. And then it should give me 10 ideas around her inside of each one of the pages. This is exactly how I created that one in there. I'm going to say 10 for this one. All right. And then I'll go with this one here because it's really nailing this in for her. And then I get those pages for her here. All right. If you guys can see, it will always ask you clarification questions to try to really nail in the actual look for the actual character that you want to have inside of those pages. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this one. And I'll put that in like that. And then it does the exact same thing over and over again. As you guys can see, art style, character, pose, but now you see the name, you see the character's name in here as opposed to when we was in those other sessions. The pose, the expression, the setting, the surrounding. I can go ahead and change any of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. I grab this, I'll paste that in. And it'll go ahead and generate the first page, okay? All right, they got the right aspect ratio like it's supposed to have. And then we'll see what that inner page looks like. And like I say, guys, you guys can do this way faster than this. I'm just kind of going through it real slow on this live just to show you guys how to do it. But once you work with this, it is so easy to get in here and just knock out a coloring book in 35, 40 minutes, a really nice professional marketable coloring book. It's super easy because as you guys can see, you're just doing the same thing over and over again. The fun part is really getting in here and trying to create something unique. Like if you guys got a branded look, a branded idea, that's cool. But one of the things I like to do is get in here and try to create stuff I haven't seen people create out there in the market, stuff that's unique, because I have all of these different art styles that I can go with. I have all of these different categories that I can go with. So sometimes I just get in here and just start creating stuff just to see how it'll turn out, because I'm trying to put some stuff out there that people don't see. I'll take some of my old prompt images and upload them in here and say, hey, let me see if I can create a whole coloring book around this particular image that I might have created 4 or 5 months ago, and it'll do it because it's designed. Anytime you upload an image here, let me scroll up so you guys can see some wording in here, because it does something very specific when it recommends things to you. Okay, so when I uploaded this particular image right here, okay, what it does is any of the suggestions that it gives you here, it's designed to give you what is called marketable ideas, okay? Ideas that have selling potential. That's the way that it works, because there's some stuff going on the back end. Then when it offers you suggestions right here, the GPT is saying, hey, these might be marketable ideas that would do good out there in the marketplace. This is where that information is coming from, all right? And then I'm gonna scroll back down, and there's that page. She's on the inside of that page, okay? And I'll create one more. I'll grab this one. I'll pop that one in. How we looking on time? How we looking on time, Sugar Ray?
It's 10:07.
Okay, all right.
Well, our time, so 11:07 Eastern.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show one more thing. I'm gonna get them up off here because it's kind of getting late. All right. I think pretty much everybody got the idea of what this thing can do. Anything you think I need to touch on this here, Sugar Ray?
No, I think you did really awesome. But I do want you to show them the other 2 GPTs, so they'll.
Okay, yeah, I'll show them those 2 right after this, so I can see what those do.
Yeah.
And I'll do that right after it finishes this page here. We'll do that.
And while you guys are while we're waiting on this, I just want to say, y'all, don't forget that he's activating the affiliate now, you guys. So you guys are going to be able to get 20% if you guys wish to resell this. And you do have to have a Beacons page. And I'll do a separate live, Adrian, since it's been a while, you know, going on for a while. So I'll do a separate to show everybody how to add an affiliate link, because you might have multiple affiliate links from people as well. So we'll show you how to add an affiliate link to your Beacons. And if you need help setting up your whole Beacons as a whole, then you guys want to make sure that you come in the LPA group on School. Okay, the Learning Pretty Academy group on School. And we do have free entry right now, y'all. And that's for a limited time. So if you're watching this live, and so the password for tonight, if you guys are watching this live and you are not a part of LPA on School yet, the password for tonight is Younique. And that's spelled Adrian's way of spelling Younique, Younique. You guys can see the logo pinned on the corner here of the live. So that is the password for tonight, y'all. And after this live is over with, I will pin the links that you guys need if you're interested in purchasing the GPT, and if you're also interested in joining the free school group.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So I want you guys just to see, there's the next image. We have our consistent character in there. There's her on this page. We have a nice back cover. We have our front cover with our consistent character. And that's pretty much how you do it. If I didn't like anything I saw inside of this page, I would tell the GPT to change it and create the next page. And that's how you create a coloring book with the coloring book engine. So let me show you guys these other two GPTs. This is the where are those at? Okay, yeah, this is this one. Okay. All right. So this is the coloring book strategist right here. And with this one, you can create social media posts. You can, what price suits your debut coloring books. If you guys are trying to figure out, hey, how do I price this thing? You can go here. If you're trying to figure out how to format for KDP, you can use this. And how do you choose a profitable niche? You can, so if you guys don't know, okay, which niche do you want to be in? You can start here. You can get your niche right here, so that when you guys go into the coloring book engine, then you can actually use that information when it comes down to the category. So if I click right here, it'll ask me a few questions. I'm using a more advanced model for this. And I'll say, I'm just gonna let it do all the answers. I'm gonna say answer all of, no, I spelled that wrong, questions as a user. We'll do it like that. I'm gonna say no need to ask me any questions. I'm typing fast on that stuff that's spelled wrong, but it'll get it right though. All right. And I'm using a more advanced model for this because you got different models that you can use inside of your GPTs, and I'm using a more advanced model right now to generate this information for you guys. All right. So it answers all of the questions for me here: research validation, positioning and design, your promotional plan, optimization for KPIs. It'll do all this stuff in here. 1 week worth of social media calendar. This is just because of the questions that I asked it. Ad copy and email sequences, marketing insight, pricing, storefront optimization. It'll do all of that. I click right here. I mean, if you want to get the information for what you'll need to format your Amazon KDP, I'm going to say a 8 by 10 no bleed. And I'll say interior paper, we'll leave that like that. And then I'll say, I'm just gonna say PNGs for that part right there, all right? And we'll do it like that. And it says page count, I'm gonna say for this one here, I'll use 54, which is the page count that I use. As you guys can see, it'll show you exactly how to format this, how to set your document up, prepare your interior artwork, assemble and export interior PDF, design your cover. It's giving you the dimensions that you need for all of that. If you guys are asking how to do all of that, it gives you all of this information that you did. KDP upload checklist for your interior, your cover, your metadata, pricing, all that type of stuff like that. And it gives you a little motivational takeaway. All right. And let me show you guys the other GPT that comes along with this. This is the listing GPT for creating your listings. I'm going to say create a product listing for me. And when you click this right here, it'll give you suggestions, and I'll just use the suggestions that it gives here. I'm going to go ahead and grab this like that. And then I'll, I don't know, I'm just gonna grab any of these. This is giving suggestions. Just want to show you guys how to write. You guys want to answer these actually when it's asking you the questions, okay? I'm just going through here because I don't want to keep you guys on here too long, all right? And then it'll say book title. Then it'll say this, just confirm, is this a one book forest, quiet fruit, and manual form, or are you mentioning two separate ideas? That's because I answered that question like I was supposed to. I'm going to say answer question for me. A user and create. You guys do not want to do it like this. I'm doing it so you guys can see the end product, but when you guys are doing your products, you want to answer all of the questions, okay? And create a listing for me. I'm just doing it like this so you guys can see the finished product that you'll get back, okay? All right, so what I did was I had the GPT just to go in. These are the 6 questions it would have asked. And then as you guys can see, this is the listing that it would have created when you answered all of those questions, okay? It gives you your title. It gives you your description. It gives you what makes this book so good, the benefits. It gives you a nice look takeaway right here. And then it gives you your keywords for Amazon KDP or anywhere else you want to market it. It also gives you your keywords here as well, okay? If you wanted to, I'm probably not going to go through all of these. If you're stuck right here, I'm stuck on a title, give me 5 high converting title ideas for a coloring book about, and you tell it whatever theme that you want. You can get your coloring book ideas in here as well, okay? If you wanted to, can you audit my existing product description, tell me how to make it stronger. If you have a product description that you already have, you can upload it right here and the GPT will go in and audit it and rewrite it for you, okay? If you guys want to find your keywords, which is super important, you will go in right here and you can actually get all of your various keywords for your products with this GPT. So like I say, when I tell you, you guys are getting a complete business with this here, you're getting a GPT that creates the actual images. You're getting a GPT that you can strategize with the images. You're getting a GPT that you can do your listings with, you can do your keywords with. You can pretty much run an entire coloring book empire with just these 3 GPTs alone. And then I have another GPT that I'm working on that does something a little bit different that works with these, and I'll kind of hold off on that, but you guys are going to be getting that as well. So you will actually have 4 GPTs in total once I have everything uploaded to the training area. So that's pretty much it. I think everything is pretty self-explanatory. If you guys have any questions, you guys can drop those questions. We got any questions, Sugar Ray? Because I don't want to keep them on here too much longer. I actually went longer than I wanted to on this here, but it's still cool.
No questions, just comments. A couple people had said earlier that they did 2 characters, and that they had to play with it a bit. Yeah, a couple people said they did multiple characters.
Okay,
and,
cool.
That's it. Yep.
Okay. So once this live ends, I will be uploading the actual new version of 2.0 to the training area. You guys can play around with. If you guys run into any bugs or anything like that, make sure that you guys do reach out to me so I can go in and tweak and make those fixes. But right now, this thing is pretty much working exactly the way that you guys saw it work on this live. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. And I'll also drop the link to access the actual GPTs with this video as well once it's over with. All right.
Awesome. Okay. Let me put you back on here. Put us back on here for a minute. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Like I said, we wasn't expecting to be this long, but when we get to talking and going is very nice. We actually had mostly everybody that was on here with us last to the end, Adrian. So everybody must have been very interested. So yes, this was a great live. And like I said, I'll come back to show you guys in general how to put how to add your affiliate. So be looking for in your portal. You're going to get the update tonight, and Adrian is going to put a PDF in there for you to where you could get you guys affiliate link so that you can add it to your Beacon store.
Exactly. I will be putting it. Let me I'll put the affiliate links up tomorrow because I want to put some more information in there for the affiliate. But tonight, you guys, so a few things is going to happen tonight. Once this ends, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys immediate access who have purchased the GPT. You guys will get immediate access to version 2.0. I have a 84-page guide that I'm putting together. I'm probably going to take a little bit out of that. That's really too many pages in there. I'm going to probably take a little bit out of that and condense it. And then you guys are going to get a guide to go along with the GPTs, kind of breaks everything down, gives you guys a lot of marketing advice, a lot of tips, a lot of stuff going on about the industry. I'm going to put that in there. And then tomorrow, when you guys go into the membership area, I'm going to update the training video in there because the training video in there right now deals with version 1. I'll leave that in there because some people still have version 1. But what I will do is I'll update a brand new training video where I'll sit down and do more walkthroughs with the GPT like I just did on this live, but it'll be more specific. I'll tell you guys a lot more that you can do with the GPT. So you guys will get that training video in the membership tomorrow.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I know you hate when I interrupt you, but Sonia said, hey, leave all the pages in. And I'm with her because when you were saying that, I was like, I'm with you, Sonia.
Some of that stuff I need is all right. I'll leave it in there. When I went through it, it was just a lot of information in there. When I got through with it, I'm like, man, these folks ain't gonna read all this stuff.
We love information.
All right, cool. So I'll leave it in there. But if people are not reading all that stuff and use it, I want to create stuff that you guys use. If I put all this stuff in, you guys, man, this is 84 pages. I'm not gonna read this. Then it's kind of like it's not really serving the purpose. But if you guys say if you're gonna read it, then I'll keep all of that information in there, and then we'll just kind of let it evolve from there. All right,
So you said you playing, stop playing.
No, we'll do it like that. All right. So you guys are gonna get 2.0. You get the training guide tomorrow, the full 80-some page guide. You guys will get that tomorrow. You're gonna get a training video, a little bit more intense than the one that I did tonight. We'll do that, and then look forward to throughout the week. I'm also going to be dropping different training videos also using the GPT and stuff like that. Like I say, right now, you guys are getting the first version of this 2.0. If you guys run into any bugs inside of the GPT, I want to make sure you guys get your money's worth out of this here and you don't have issues. If you guys run into any issues with the GPT, please make sure that you guys reach out to me and drop me an email. A lot of you guys are already in my Facebook group, but make sure that you reach out to me and let me know because I want to make sure that this GPT does everything that I'm promising you guys that it can do because I put a lot into my GPTs. And then I'm gonna get with you, Sugar Ray, and I want to kind of work out the details. I want to make sure that everybody is profiting on this affiliate thing that I'm setting up. And I got a few ideas that I want to kind of work out with that because I want to make sure that if you guys use the GPT, you might as well get paid for it. So if you share it, you got a crafted community, you got your own community. You guys will be able to share your own links to the GPT with your communities, with your crafting communities, coloring communities, whatever, and you guys will be able to get a percentage off of that because I want to give back and show the love if you guys put the work in and actually share the link to the GPT. So those are the things that you can look forward to moving forward this week. All right. So we're good. We're good, Sugar. I ain't rambling, am I? I ain't rambling.
No, it's totally fine. We are good. So you guys just remember that if you guys want to join LPA for free too, while it's a limited time, if you need help creating those beacons pages and different things like that, that's going to be the place where you want to be to get that help. So we'll definitely go over adding affiliate links and creating your beacons pages, and we're going to go off a little bit more in depth of why we love beacons and why we choose why that's one of our top platforms to choose. So
yeah, exactly. Okay. Well,
okay,
that's pretty much it for me.
You,
I don't want to keep on here too much longer. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thank
you sharing your platform. Say what now?
Stop it. I said stop it. This is one of my admins, y'all. So listen, you guys will see Adrian in here anytime if he wants to even push that live button by himself. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get my my team to go live in here more. So yes, y'all are welcome to do anytime. We love having you. And thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight. And I look forward to using this, Adrian, and look forward to coming back, showing them some of the physical things, like you said, print those books at home and different things you could do with it at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That'll be fire if we can come back. Say what now?
I said I'm already playing in this, playing in the GPT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, let's come back. Yeah, let's come back later on and do a showing some physical products with the actual with the GPT. Yeah, I think we'll come back and show you guys some real physical products that you can create. I think we had already talked about that a little bit, but we'll look at how that needs to look and we can come back with that. All right.
Okay.
So I don't have anything else. I don't want to keep them too late. Okay.
Okay. Well,
right, appreciate
good night, you guys. Right. Thank you for tuning in.
All right.